My aunt's spa treatment turned me into a real girl. I never planned for any of this to happen. My name is Ethan, just your average 22-year-old guy with a not-so-average secret. On the surface, my life looked perfectly ordinary. I worked part-time as a tech support agent while finishing a business degree online, shared a small apartment with my girlfriend Emma, and occasionally hung out with friends from college. But hidden beneath the mundane details of my routine life was something I never told anyone. Not Emma. Not my parents. Not even my best friend. Sometimes, I like to look in the mirror and imagine what I'd look like as a girl. It wasn't just a passing curiosity. For as long as I could remember, I'd been drawn to femininity. At first, it was just experimenting in secret with my mom's makeup when I was a teenager. Later, I began browsing thrift shops for cute tops, soft skirts, and shoes I could wear when I was alone. It wasn't about a kink or fetish. It was a deep, strange ache I didn't fully understand. I'd wear the clothes late at night when Emma was out or asleep, catching glimpses of myself in the mirror, wondering what it would be like if I could live like that, even just for a day. Still, I kept the whole thing locked away. Emma was kind, driven, and beautiful. We'd been dating for over 2 years, and even though we'd had some rough patches lately, her new job as a junior editor meant late nights and constant stress. I didn't want to risk everything by revealing the secret. How would she react? Would she laugh? Be disgusted? Think I was cheating? So I lived a double life. By day, Ethan, the supportive boyfriend, the chill gamer, the guy who always wore hoodies and sneakers. But in the quiet moments when no one was watching, I became someone else. Someone softer, more graceful, someone who felt more me than I ever could admit. And that's where my Aunt Lorraine comes in. Lorraine wasn't your typical aunt. She was my mom's younger sister, maybe in her late 40s, but you'd never guess it looking at her. She ran her own high-end spa and wellness center downtown. Her social media was full of filtered selfies, inspirational quotes, and pictures of her pampering celebrities and influencers. She always had this effortless glow and believed in energy healing, chakra balancing, and things that made my dad roll his eyes at family dinners. I hadn't seen her much since moving in with Emma, but a few weeks ago, Lorraine messaged me out of the blue. She said she missed me, and as a birthday gift, even though my birthday had passed 2 months ago, she wanted to treat me to a full spa day, her treat. At first, I laughed it off. Me? A spa? That wasn't really my thing. But then Emma saw the message on my phone and nudged me. You should go, she said casually, flipping through a magazine. You've been stressed, and I think some pampering would do good. Besides, your skin could really use some hydration. I rolled my eyes, but a part of me got curious. What if I went and maybe just slightly leaned into it? I could experiment with something new. Not too far, just see how it felt. No one had to know. I replied to Lorraine and said yes. The spa was on the far side of the city, tucked between a fancy bakery and a boutique wine shop. It looked more like a luxury retreat than a day spa. Soft pink and gold decor, flower arrangements on every surface, and a scent of lavender and eucalyptus that hit me the moment I walked in. Lorraine greeted me like I was royalty. Ethan, she squealed, pulling me into a hug. Look at you, all grown up. Still wearing those boring gray hoodies, though. She laughed, poking my arm playfully. But don't worry, we're going to fix all of that today. I chuckled awkwardly, unsure what she meant. She guided me into a private room. Plush chair, vanity mirror, soft lighting. You're in for the full works, she said. Facial, deep exfoliation, massage, waxing, light aromatherapy, and maybe a few surprises. Surprises? I asked, half joking. She winked. Just trust me. I've got something special planned. I didn't know then how much those words would change everything. As I sat in the chair, letting her assistants gently cleanse my face and wrap my hair in a towel, something in me shifted. I wasn't just Ethan, the guy pretending not to enjoy this. I was floating, almost detached from the weight I usually carried. The pressure to be masculine. The guilt. The secrecy. No one was judging me here. No one asking questions. Just soft music, warm hands, and the scent of jasmine oil on my neck. And then, in a moment I didn't expect, Lorraine came back with a soft pink robe. "This is part of the surprise," she said, holding it out with a smile. "Trust me, you'll feel amazing." I stared at it. I could have said no. I could have laughed it off, called it silly. But instead, I nodded, and I took the robe. The robe was soft. Softer than I expected. Silky, with delicate embroidery along the collar that shimmered faintly under the dim spa lighting. It hugged my skin in a way that felt both comforting and unnervingly right. As I slipped it over my body, my breath caught. Was it wrong to like this? I looked at myself in the mirror. The robe's blush pink hue contrasted with the stubble on my chin, the short, messy hair I hadn't combed that morning. But somehow it suited me. Or rather, it suited a version of me I'd only seen in daydreams, half-formed, always pushed away before I could get too close. I sat back in the reclining chair, arms tucked inside the robe as Lorraine returned with her assistant, a tall woman with long black braids and a calm, confident smile. "This is Dana," Lorraine said. "She's my best esthetician. I trust her with all my VIP clients." Dana gave me a little wave. "Don't worry, sweetie. We'll take good care of you." The next hour passed in a dream. A warm towel wrapped around my face. A tingling mask applied in soft circular motions. Gentle hands exfoliating my arms and shoulders. Even my legs were given a sugar scrub that left them smooth and glowing. Dana worked like an artist, humming under her breath while I tried not to squirm under her touch. Then came the waxing. "Just your arms, chest, and legs," Lorraine said casually, as if she were offering me a cup of tea. "You don't need all that hair, not today." I hesitated. My heart thumped. "Wait, are you serious?" Dana was already prepping the wax strips. "It'll grow back," Lorraine said gently, placing a hand on my shoulder. "But I promise, you're going to love how it feels." The first strip ripped and I gasped. Pain, yes, but brief, followed by a strange thrill that left goosebumps on my newly bare skin. By the end of it, I was hairless from the neck down. The robe felt even more luxurious against my smooth body. Almost sinfully so. "This is our favorite part," Dana said, wheeling in a tray covered with little bottles, brushes, and palettes. "Time for a little makeup magic." I sat up straight. "Wait, makeup." Lorraine grinned. "Ethan, this spa is about transformation. And today is your day. No judgment. No labels. Just let go and enjoy the ride." I should have said no. I should have pushed back, drawn a line in the sand. But I didn't. Something inside me, something buried deep and aching to be seen, whispered, "Why not? Just this once." Dana was quick and efficient. A soft layer of primer. A touch of concealer. Foundation that blended so perfectly I could barely tell it was there. My eyebrows were shaped, just enough to soften my face. Then came eyeliner, mascara, and a light dusting of rose blush that made my cheeks glow. When she held up the mirror, I almost didn't recognize myself. My eyes looked bigger, softer. My lips fuller, glossier. There was a feminine glow to me now. A delicate beauty that felt dangerous. Because I liked it. Too much. "I look like a girl," I whispered. "You look like you," Lorraine replied. That's when she brought out the final piece, a wig. Long, wavy, caramel brown hair with curtain bangs and a natural hairline. I didn't even protest this time. I let her place it on my head, adjust it, style it. And when I looked in the mirror again, I saw her. The girl I'd imagined in those quiet moments alone. The one I used to sketch in notebooks as a teenager. The one who lived in dreams and mirrors, never fully real until now. "Wow," I breathed. "You're stunning," Dana said. I felt a strange tightness in my chest. I wanted to laugh, cry, and scream all at once. But Lorraine wasn't done. "One last treat," she said, handing me a silky bundle. "We're doing a full reveal. I want you to feel the real transformation. Go ahead, put this on." I opened it. It was a dress. A pale champagne wrap dress, soft and flowing, with lace detailing along the hem. It looked expensive, feminine, beautiful. "I can't wear this," I whispered. "I mean, what if someone sees me?" "Who?" Lorraine shrugged. We're closed for private clients today. No one's here but us. I hesitated, trembling fingers brushing the fabric. You don't have to if you don't want to, Lorraine said gently. But if you're curious, if you've ever wondered what it might feel like to really be seen, then this is your moment. I changed. Every part of me shook as I slipped off the robe and stepped into the dress. Lorraine helped zip me up, fasten a padded bra underneath, and hand me a pair of matching nude heels. As I stood in front of the mirror, wig on, makeup done, dress clinging to my new smooth body, I didn't see Ethan anymore. I saw her. Me. A me that felt right in a way I didn't understand but couldn't deny. Then my phone buzzed. I looked down and froze. It was a message from Emma. Hey babe. Work let out early. Be home in 30. Want to order Thai? My heart dropped into my stomach. I was 45 minutes away from home, dressed head to toe as a woman. There was no way I could get back, remove the makeup, change clothes, shower, and act normal in time. Panic surged. Lorraine must have seen the look on my face. What's wrong? My girlfriend, I whispered. She's coming home early. Well, this could get interesting, Lorraine said, raising an eyebrow. You have two choices. Wipe it all off now or own it. I can't go home like this. I cried. Why not? She said, folding her arms. Maybe it's time she saw the real you. I'm not ready, I said, my voice cracking. But even as I said it, something inside me rebelled. I wanted her to see. I wanted to know if she'd still love me. I wanted to know if I could live this life, not just in mirrors or locked doors, but out loud. That's when Lorraine smirked. You know, I do offer an overnight transformation package. You'd stay here, fully immersed in your new self. We could even give you a new name. I blinked. A name? She leaned in. What would you call her if you could? I hesitated. The word rose in my throat like a forgotten melody. Sophia. Lorraine clapped her hands. Well then, Sophia. Let's make tonight count. I sat on the edge of a velvet chaise lounge in Lorraine's back treatment room, staring at my reflection. The woman in the mirror, Sophia, was no longer just a fantasy. She was me. But reality was crashing back fast. Emma was on her way home. The clock ticked with merciless rhythm, and my anxiety grew louder than the soft ambient music playing in the background. Okay, I said breathlessly. I have to go. I need to get home now. You'll never make it in time, Lorraine said calmly, sipping green tea like this was any ordinary Tuesday. And even if you do, you'll be rushing, panicking, and trying to erase something that clearly makes you feel alive. I can't let her find out like this. Then maybe it's time you stop hiding. Her tone softened. What are you so afraid of, Ethan? No, Sophia? I swallowed. I'm afraid she'll hate me. That she'll think I'm a freak. That I've been lying to her all this time. You haven't been lying, Lorraine said. You've been surviving. That word hit me like a wave. Surviving. That's exactly what it felt like. Every day, wearing the mask, staying within the lines, never letting my truth bleed through. I'd convinced myself I could keep this part of me locked away forever, but now that the door was open, I wasn't sure I wanted to go back. I don't know what to do, I whispered. You stay here tonight, Lorraine said gently. Let yourself breathe. Explore. Feel who you are when no one's judging you. I'll text Emma for you. Tell her you're helping me with something technical and staying over. It's a white lie, but you need space right now. And tomorrow? She smiled. We'll figure that out together. I nodded slowly, my heart pounding like a drum. Okay. One night. Lorraine didn't hold back. Once I agreed to stay, she transformed her spa into something magical. She handed me a silk nightgown and matching robe, styled my wig into a braided updo, and even brought out a selection of perfumes for me to try. The moment I sprayed a soft floral scent on my wrists, something changed. I wasn't just playing dress up, I was living in this body now. Feeling the way the satin draped over my frame, the way my reflection moved when I smiled, even how I walked, more deliberate, more poised. Let's paint your nails, Lorraine said brightly. A girl can't have bare hands and toes. I laughed, a light, real laugh, and let her apply a pale pink polish to my fingers and toes. I watched the strokes, mesmerized. Each detail made me feel more complete. More Sophia. We sipped tea, talked about childhood memories, and even did a light guided meditation. It was the most peaceful I'd felt in years. But the storm inside me hadn't passed. If anything, it was growing stronger. Later that night, as I stood in front of the mirror in full makeup, polished nails, and a flowing nightgown, I felt both beautiful and terrified. Because tomorrow, the mask would have to come off. And I wasn't sure I could do it. It was nearly midnight when everything shifted again. I was alone in the treatment room, brushing out the wig in front of the vanity mirror, when I heard a knock. I froze. It was too soft to be the front door. Lorraine had gone to her apartment upstairs. Who would be here this late? Tap. Tap. The knock came again. I slowly stepped toward the hallway. The lights were dim, shadows stretching across the spa's golden decor. I crept closer, heart thudding. And then, the door opened. It was Emma. I nearly screamed. She stood there in jeans and a hoodie, her expression a mix of shock and confusion. Her eyes scanned me, wig, makeup, nightgown, and locked in place. The silence was suffocating. "Ethan," she said, her voice barely audible. My knees buckled. "Emma, wait. I can explain." She stepped inside slowly, eyes wide. What is this?" "I didn't mean for you to find out like this," I whispered, tears forming. I was going to tell you. I just didn't know how. I didn't think you'd understand." She stared for a long time. The silence twisted like a blade in my gut. "I thought you were cheating on me," she said finally. "You've been distant, avoiding me, leaving the room when I come home." "I wasn't cheating," I said quickly. "I swear. This is me. A part of me I never told anyone about. I didn't know how." "Why here?" she asked, stepping closer. "Why now?" "My aunt, she gave me a spa day and it spiraled. It felt right. Too right. I thought I'd try just a little, but I didn't want to stop. Not because I don't love you, Emma, but because this is something I've hidden for so long." She looked down at my painted nails. "You look beautiful." I blinked. "What?" "I mean it," she said. "I'm just overwhelmed. You should have told me." I was scared. She let out a long breath and sat down. "I need time to process. But I'm not leaving. Not yet. Just don't lie to me again, okay?" I nodded, wiping my tears. "Okay." She reached over and took my hand. "So, do I call you Ethan or Sophia?" She smiled. "Hi, Sophia." Lorraine walked in then, holding 2 mugs of tea, and stopped cold at the sight. "Oh," she said, blinking. "It's okay," Emma said, looking at me. "We're talking." "Well," Lorraine said, setting down the mugs. "I'll give you 2 space. But Sophia, remember this feeling. No matter what happens next, you deserve to feel whole." Emma and I sat there, sipping tea, the silence now calmer. Less suffocating. My secret was out. My truth exposed. And the world hadn't ended. But it had changed. For the first time, I wasn't sure I wanted to go back. I woke the next morning tangled in a swirl of satin sheets and fear. Emma had stayed the night, but on the opposite side of the spa's guest room bed, curled up under her own blanket. We hadn't spoken much after that heart-stopping reveal. No fights. No yelling. Just silence, punctuated by soft breathing and the weight of everything unsaid. Now the sun filtered through the frosted windows, casting golden beams across the room and my reflection in the mirror. My makeup was smudged. The wig was slightly askew. My nails still glistened with pink polish. And yet, I still saw her. Sophia. I didn't want to take her off. But what did Emma want? I stepped quietly into the bathroom, trying not to wake her, and looked at myself in the vanity mirror. I touched the corner of my eye, wiping away the leftover eyeliner, wondering how long I had until this all came crashing down. That's when I saw the door behind me shift. Emma was awake. "I'm sorry," I said quickly, not even turning around. "For not telling you sooner. For letting it go this far." Her voice was soft. I stayed because I didn't want you to wake up alone. I turned slowly. She looked tired, but calm. She stepped forward and studied me like she was trying to understand something foreign and fragile. This wasn't a one-time thing, was it? She asked. I hesitated. I didn't think it was. But now that I've become her, I don't think I can go back. Emma nodded, chewing her lip. So, what does that mean? For us? I don't know, I whispered. I'm still figuring it out. She walked closer, brushing a hand against my arm. I need time, Sophia. But I'm willing to try. I just don't want lies between us anymore. The name. Hearing her say it made my stomach flutter. I want to try too, I said. But I understand if. Before I could finish, Lorraine burst into the hallway, wide-eyed, holding her phone. You two need to see this. She handed me the screen. A photo of me, dressed as Sophia, standing in front of the spa mirror, applying lipstick taken from the corner window's reflection. Captioned, "Look who's living their truth, #transformation_queen." My blood froze. Who posted this? Lorraine's face turned pale. One of my assistants. She must have thought it was harmless. She didn't realize you were a private client. My hands trembled. This is public. Emma grabbed the phone. Oh my God. This is on Instagram? It's already got over 1,000 likes. No, I said, pacing, heart pounding in my chest. My classmates, my coworkers, my family, they're going to see this. I'll call her, Lorraine said. We'll take it down. But it was too late, because just then another notification popped up on the screen. A DM. From my mother.
Ethan, call me. Now.
The room spun. The car ride home was silent. Emma sat in the passenger seat, phone in hand, scrolling through the growing number of comments under the post. Some were supportive. Most were curious. A few were cruel. I wanted to disappear.
My phone buzzed again.
Another message from a friend. Dude, is this real? WTF. Lorraine had already called the assistant and deleted the post, but screenshots had already spread. The damage was done. You don't have to face this alone, Emma said gently, placing a hand over mine. I flinched. I don't know who I am anymore, I said through clenched teeth. I thought I had control of this, of her. But now it's all out. I'm not ready. Maybe that's the point, she said. No one's ever ready. Back at the apartment, the tension was suffocating. I stripped out of the dress, the wig, the heels, scrubbed away the makeup. I stood in the shower, the hot water scalding my skin, trying to wash Sophia away. But she didn't leave. She clung to me. In the mirror, even barefaced, I still felt like her. That frightened me more than anything. Emma waited on the couch, scrolling through her phone. She looked up as I stepped out in a hoodie and sweats, my boy mode armor. But the moment our eyes met, we both knew the illusion was broken. You're still her, she said softly. I didn't answer. Then came the knock. 3 sharp raps on the door. Emma and I both turned. Another knock. I opened it. It was my mother. Her expression was unreadable. She stepped inside slowly, scanning me head to toe. Her eyes landed on my freshly shaped brows, the faint remnants of eyeliner I hadn't fully wiped away. So it's true, she said. I closed the door. Mom, I can explain. She held up a hand. Don't. I don't want excuses. I want honesty. I swallowed. It's real. I've been hiding this part of myself for years. But yesterday, I finally let it out. And now everyone knows. Silence. Then, I always knew, she said. I blinked. What? She walked past me and sat down. You used to steal my lipsticks when you were 12. You'd sneak into my closet when you thought I wasn't home. I pretended not to see. Tears burned my eyes. You never said anything. Because I didn't want to scare you, she said gently. I figured you'd come to me when you were ready. But I never expected you to be outed like this. I dropped to my knees. I'm so sorry. She reached out and pulled me into a hug. I'm not mad, she whispered. I'm just scared for you. The world isn't always kind to people like us. Emma stood in the corner, quietly wiping her own tears. For the first time, we were all in the same room. No secrets, no masks. Just truth. And then my mom said something I'll never forget. If you're going to be her, be Sophia, then don't do it halfway. Own it. You deserve to take up space in this world. I cried like a child. Later that night, I sat in front of the mirror again. The wig on the stand. Makeup kit open. Emma behind me, brushing my hair. So, she said, what are you going to do now? I looked at myself. No more pretending. I'm going to be her, I said. Not just in secret. Not just at Lorraine's spa. I'm going to be Sophia. For real. Emma kissed my cheek. Then let's make her shine. And as I began to reapply my makeup, my hands steady, my heart lighter, I realized the twist I feared the most had become the beginning of something beautiful. 3 days later, I stood in front of the apartment door wearing a sundress. Yes, a sundress. It was soft yellow cotton, sleeveless, with little buttons down the front and a matching belt around the waist. My hair, well, the wig, was styled in loose waves that brushed my shoulders. Emma had helped me with my makeup, light foundation, a touch of blush, peachy gloss. Not over the top. Not fake. Just me. Sophia. The viral post had died down, replaced by newer gossip and fleeting scandals. Still, the screenshots were out there. People knew. My inbox was a mess of shock, support, confusion, and cruelty. I ignored most of it. But one message changed everything. It was from a company I'd applied to last month. A real, salaried IT job, something I'd worked hard for. We've reviewed your application and would love to move forward with an interview. Please join us via Zoom on Friday at 2 p.m. At first, I was thrilled. Until I realized my resume, my credentials, my entire persona was under Ethan. Now, everything had changed. I have to do the interview, I told Emma. But I don't know who to be. She didn't answer right away. Then, gently, she said, "Who do you want to be?" That question haunted me for hours. Now, it was 10 minutes to 2 p.m. I stood in front of the laptop. My heart was racing. I could change into jeans, put on a hoodie, wash off the makeup. I could be Ethan one last time. Or I could take the risk. With trembling fingers, I clicked the Zoom link. The meeting connected. The hiring manager appeared, a man in his mid-30s with square glasses and a warm smile. "Hi there. You must be Ethan?" I froze. I could feel Sophia inside me, standing at a cliff's edge. My mouth went dry. Then I did something I never imagined I could. I smiled. "Actually, I go by Sophia now. I hope that's okay." There was a pause. The man blinked, clearly surprised. My stomach twisted. But then he nodded. "Sophia it is. Thanks for letting me know. Let's get started." And just like that, it began. The next 40 minutes flew by. I answered every technical question with confidence. I explained my experience, my projects, my goals. Not as Ethan, hiding, performing, controlling, but as Sophia. Honest. Grounded. Real. When the interview ended, I closed the laptop and collapsed onto the couch, emotionally drained but buzzing with something I hadn't felt in years. Pride. I didn't know if I got the job. But I'd shown the world my real face, and it hadn't shattered. That evening, I met Lorraine for tea. She was glowing as always. "You look radiant," she said, adjusting a pearl earring. "So, what now?" I smiled over my cup. Now I wait. And hope the world is as ready for Sophia as I am. She reached into her purse and handed me a small gift box. "Then you'll need this." I opened it. Inside was a necklace. A silver pendant shaped like a butterfly. "It's yours now," she said, "to remind you who you are and who you're becoming." I blinked back tears as I fastened it around my neck. A symbol, a beginning. But the peace didn't last. Because just then, Emma burst into the cafe, holding her phone, her face pale. "Something happened," she whispered, rushing to me. "What?" She turned the screen toward me. A new post. From an anonymous account. A photo of me in the spa, changing. Captioned. She says she's real, but this proves it's fake.
Caught mid-transition.
Hashtag exposed. My breath left my lungs. A setup? A betrayal? Who took that photo? I stared at the image. Half wig, half makeup.
Bare chest.
Midway through becoming Sophia. The most vulnerable version of me. Online. For everyone to see. Emma grabbed my hand. What do we do? I looked at her. At Lorraine. At my reflection in the window. And I whispered. I don't know. I used to think my biggest fear was being caught. Now I know it's being erased. The photo they posted of me, half-dressed, mid-transformation, no wig, no bra, just a mess of raw vulnerability, wasn't just embarrassing. It was weaponized. The caption still haunts me. She says she's real, but this proves it's fake. Hashtag exposed. Within an hour, it had spread everywhere. Forums, Instagram, Reddit threads. People were screenshotting it, dissecting my body, debating my gender like it was a trending topic instead of my life. I'd never felt so naked. Not even during the transformation itself. Emma sat beside me, furious, shaking with anger. Lorraine paced like a panther ready to pounce. This was a setup, she hissed. No one takes a photo like that accidentally. She was right. That angle, hidden, high up, meant someone had planted a camera. Maybe it had been recording the whole time. Maybe there were videos. The thought made me nauseous. But worse than the exposure was the self-doubt. Was I really fake? Did becoming Sophia through makeup, wigs, and spa treatments mean I didn't deserve to be her? I touched the butterfly pendant around my neck, the one Lorraine had given me. A symbol of freedom, of transformation. But now it felt like a target. I spent the next day in bed, the blinds drawn, my phone on silent. Emma fielded the calls. Lorraine responded to media inquiries. My mom dropped off groceries but didn't come up. I don't want to overwhelm you, she'd said gently. But I'm here when you're ready. That night, I stared at myself in the mirror. No wig, no dress, just me, in an oversized hoodie and tear-streaked cheeks. I thought of deleting everything, wiping my socials, changing my number, going back to Ethan and pretending this never happened. But I couldn't, because despite the fear, despite the hate, I missed her. Sophia. I missed her smile, her posture, the way the world looked when I moved through it as her. I didn't want to hide her away again. Not this time. Emma sat on the edge of the bed, beside me. You don't have to make any decisions tonight, she said. But I know one thing. I turned to her, eyes tired. What? You're not fake, she said.
They are.
And you deserve to fight back. Those words stayed with me, burned into me. The next morning, I got out of bed, took a shower, shaved, and opened my makeup kit. Sophia wasn't gone. She was getting ready. When I stepped outside that morning, I half expected people to point,
laugh,
whistle, sneer. But the street was quiet, normal. Still, I walked with my head down. The wig was secured, my makeup light. My outfit, just a soft lavender blouse tucked into high-waisted jeans, was casual, understated. But every step felt like I was walking a tightrope. I wasn't Sophia in secret anymore. Now I was publicly her. The spa was already closed when I arrived. Lorraine had taken the day off for privacy reasons, but she let me in through the back entrance. The front door still had sticky notes on it. We support Sophia. You're beautiful. Ignore the haters. And then, groomer. Liar. Fake girl equals fake life. The handwriting on those last ones made my stomach twist. Lorraine met me in the back room with tea and an envelope. We found the camera, she said, her face stormy, hidden in a fake smoke detector. The footage was routed to a burner laptop. My chest tightened. So there's more? She nodded. We don't know who placed it, but someone planned this. They wanted to catch you mid-transition. Make you look like a fraud. Do we go to the police? Lorraine hesitated. We can. But it'll drag everything out. And it'll make you more visible. More visible. More vulnerable. I sat down hard on the velvet lounge chair, staring at the tea, but not drinking it. I feel like a puppet, I whispered. They didn't just post my picture. They stole my moment, my choice. Emma entered from the hallway just then. She looked tired but fierce. I talked to a lawyer, she said. We can file a cease and desist, maybe even sue for damages. For what? My dignity, I said bitterly. That's already shredded. Emma knelt beside me. Then take it back. We started planning that afternoon. Not revenge. Reclamation. Lorraine reached out to a trans rights advocacy group. Emma contacted a blogger she knew who ran a Living Out Loud column.
And I
wrote a statement. Not a defense. Not an apology. A truth. I stared at the blinking cursor for hours before finally typing. My name is Sophia. You saw me before I was ready, but that doesn't mean I'm not real. I didn't ask to be exposed. But I won't let shame define me. Being caught doesn't mean I was pretending. It means I was afraid. And I'm not anymore. We released the post as a blog entry and shared it quietly on a few platforms. No tags. No fanfare.
But it spread anyway. Slowly.
Then faster. And then something unexpected happened.
People supported me.
Some were trans. Some weren't. Many were strangers. They left comments like, "This could have been me. Your courage gives me hope. You're not fake, you're brave." My inbox went from toxic swamp to a stream of kindness. But it didn't make the danger go away. The next challenge came at work. I'd been freelancing in IT and programming, anonymous usernames, remote projects, no video calls. That had always made it easy to separate Ethan from Sophia.
But now,
I had an offer. A real job. With benefits.
A team.
Office visits. And they still thought I was Ethan. I had to make a choice. Emma and I rehearsed the conversation for days.
How to say it.
When to bring it up. What words to use. When the Zoom meeting started, I was dressed plainly, blouse, no wig, no visible makeup. But my voice? Still soft. Still Sophia's. I need to clarify something before we continue, I said calmly. I recently came out.
Publicly.
I'm transgender. I go by Sophia now. I understand if this affects your decision. There was a pause. The HR manager blinked, then said, "We support that. Thank you for telling us." No drama. No pushback. Just acceptance. I ended the call and stared at the blank screen in stunned silence. Emma burst out cheering. But I wasn't celebrating yet. Because someone still wanted to ruin me. Underscore 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 underscore. The next day, I received a private message on Instagram. No profile picture. No name. Just one line. You think you've won. But the real video drops Friday. My throat closed. Video. Not just a photo. A recording. Of me. Changing. Vulnerable. Before I even knew who I was. Panic overtook me. What do? I asked Lorraine that night. What if they show the world everything? Me in half wig, padding, no bra, proving I'm fake. You're not fake, she said fiercely. And if they release it, we'll fight. But Sophia, let me ask you something. I looked at her, trembling. If the world already knows your truth, what power does the video still have? I didn't answer. Because I didn't know. That night, I stood in front of the mirror again. Fully dressed. Wig on. Makeup done. Necklace resting against my collarbone. Not for a post. Not for an interview. Just for me. Because I missed her. And I wasn't going to let them erase her again. I didn't cry when they posted the photo. I cried the next morning when I realized how normal the world looked outside my window. Birds chirped. Cars passed. My neighbors watered their plants. And me? I sat in silence at the kitchen table, Emma across from me, her hands wrapped around a mug of tea that had gone cold. My phone sat between us like a landmine. The post was still up. Still spreading. The comments weren't just cruel now, they were strategic. Not even a real girl. Photoshop the wig off, and you got a guy in drag. She fooled everyone. She wants attention. She's lying to her girlfriend. I didn't want to read more. But I did. Like I deserve the pain. Like maybe if I absorbed enough of it, I'd feel something besides shame. Emma reached out, touching my hand. Please stop. Don't read any more. But they're right, I whispered. That picture, they caught me mid-change. It's proof. No, she said firmly. It's evidence that someone invaded your privacy. That's all it is. Her grip tightened. You're not fake, Sophia. You're just unfinished. Lorraine had closed the spa.
Temporarily, she said.
For privacy. For damage control. But mostly to protect you. She invited me back anyway through the back entrance. The usual scent of lavender and rose water filled the halls, but the vibe was different now. Nervous.
Hushed.
I caught my reflection in a hallway mirror and flinched. I looked like me. Sophia. Wig styled in soft layers. A cropped jacket over a knit top. High-waisted jeans that hugged my hips. Light makeup. Lip gloss. From a distance, no one would question it. Up close, the doubt screamed louder than ever. I found it, Lorraine said, her voice low and sharp. The source of the leak. She handed me a dismantled smoke detector. It wasn't wired into anything. Just a tiny hidden lens. Wired to a portable transmitter. You were filmed from the moment you started changing. I felt like throwing up. Who would do this? I choked. I'm trying to find out, she said. But whoever it was, they had access. And they wanted to hurt you. The word hurt landed hard. Because it wasn't just about embarrassment anymore. This was targeted. I'm going to be a punchline for the rest of my life, I muttered. No, Lorraine said, her voice steel. You're not. Emma pushed for action. She contacted a lawyer. A few LGBTQ+ influencers picked up the story. Spa girl exposed mid-transition became a buzz phrase on Twitter. Some users called me brave. Others called me disgusting. I stayed offline. Let Emma and Lorraine handle the firestorm. Instead, I buried myself in makeup tutorials. In articles about gender identity. In quiet, painful hours of journaling. I'd started writing letters to myself. Dear Sophia, you don't feel real today. But you're still here. Still breathing. Still fighting. That makes you stronger than they'll ever know. Sometimes I burn them. Other times, I tape them to my mirror. One day, I taped one to the door. The next morning, I found Emma had added her own note under it. You're not fighting alone. Then came the next blow. The job interview I'd done days earlier, the one where I'd come out as Sophia, got back to someone at my old university. And someone there posted that to a group chat. Which ended up on Reddit. Now I wasn't just spa girl. I was the fake trans tech girl who scammed her way into a job. Suddenly, everything I'd ever done was under review. Was I qualified? Was I lying about my resume? Did I pretend to be a woman to win diversity points? It felt like being stripped again, this time, publicly, digitally, permanently. And then, another message. Just wait till Friday. The real video drops. Anonymous. I showed it to Lorraine and Emma. Lorraine's face drained of color. Emma nearly threw her phone. A video. Not just a photo. A full clip of me changing, caught mid-femininity. The moment when I still looked like him. When the illusion slipped. The moment that could undo everything. Maybe we should go to the police, Emma said. They'll just say I shouldn't have been doing any of this in public, I whispered. Even though it wasn't. Even though I was alone in a locked room. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't be. But then something snapped. Not in a bad way. More like a realization. They already took everything I was afraid of losing. My anonymity. My control. My sense of privacy. My illusion of safety. So, what else did they have left to take? I got out of bed. Grabbed my notebook. Opened a new page. Dear Sophia, they want you scared. But you don't owe them fear. You owe yourself truth. I called Emma. Told her I wanted to make a video. Not a reaction. A reclamation. We filmed it together in Lorraine's spa. Same mirror, same chair. Full lighting.
Calm. Real.
In the video, I stared directly at the camera and said, "You saw a version of me you weren't supposed to see. That's not on me. That's on whoever violated my privacy and thought it would shame me. But I'm not ashamed anymore. That's the difference. Being exposed doesn't make me fake. It makes me vulnerable. And if that's what scares you, you need to look at yourself, not me." We posted it on my newly renamed channel, Sophia Speaks. I turned off comments, but I left the like count on. Within a day, 18,000 views. Within 2 days, 60,000. By the end of the week, 175,000. The video they promised to release never came. Maybe they got scared. Maybe they realized they'd lost control. Or maybe they were waiting. Then came the final message. Printed.
Mailed.
No return address. Just a single USB drive. And a note. Still think you're safe? Lorraine held it in her gloved hands like it was poison. "We shouldn't plug it in," she said. Emma stared at it like a ticking bomb. And me? I smiled. Not because I wasn't scared, but because I wasn't hiding anymore.
"I'm not ashamed," I said.
Let them try. The USB sat on the marble counter of Lorraine's spa like a cursed artifact. None of us spoke. Not Emma. Not Lorraine. Not me. We'd all been waiting for the leak, for the collapse, for the moment when everything tipped over the edge. But this felt personal. Because it was. A handwritten note had come with the drive. "You're playing a role. Let me show them who you really are." No signature. Just those awful words, scribbled in ballpoint pen. "Don't plug it in," Lorraine said again, holding the drive with tweezers and dropping it into a static-free bag. "We'll scan it on a secure machine later." "What do you think's on it?" Emma asked. No one answered. But we all knew. That night, I tried to sleep. But the dark wasn't quiet, it was loud. My thoughts raced. I imagined the worst. Video clips of me changing. Audio of me talking to myself, as Sophia. Hidden footage of me struggling to get my padding right. Or maybe, worst of all, the voice that doubted me. The boy voice I hadn't trained away yet. The one I feared would betray me. I checked the locks on the doors twice. Then 3 times. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just existed like a ghost in my own life. And then, at 3:42 a.m., my phone buzzed. A new Instagram account. No followers. 1 post. A screenshot. Of my inbox. My private messages. Messages I had sent to a trans support group. Ones where I doubted myself, called myself pretend, asked if I'd ever feel real in my body. The caption read, "Even SHE knows she's a fake. #Cotton4K. I dropped the phone. Emma sat up beside me. What happened? I showed her. And for the first time, she looked afraid. "Someone knows your passwords?" she asked. "I don't know how they got in," I said. I had 2-factor on everything. "Could it be," she hesitated, "someone you know?" That word hit hard. Someone. Because that meant someone I trusted. Someone who knew where I kept things. Someone close. The betrayal wasn't just online. It was personal. By the time Lorraine and I met at her spa the next morning, the Instagram post had already spread. Reddit threads. TikTok expose videos. Twitter screenshots. And the comments? Pull. Again. Even trans people think she's fake. This is why people don't take you seriously. Girl, just stop. It didn't matter that the messages were old. That I was still figuring myself out when I wrote them. They became ammunition in a war I didn't sign up for. I wanted to run. Not back into the closet, but out of the spotlight entirely. Let the world win. Let Sophia die quietly. But then Lorraine did something unexpected.
She brought out the USB. "I scanned it," she said.
"It's clean. No malware. No spyware. Just 1 folder." She plugged it into her laptop. The screen lit up with a list of video files. Dated. Every single one from the day of the spa transformation. There were 4. each between 15 to 25 minutes. And the titles? The lie begins. From man to makeup. The wig reveal. The real Sophia? We stared. Emma clenched her fists. I swear to God, when we find out who did this. Wait, I said, staring at the file details. Each one had been uploaded to a private drive. Scheduled. With a countdown. The final file? The real Sophia? Set to go live in 36 hours. I couldn't breathe. We were out of time. That night, I did something I hadn't done in weeks. I called my mom. She picked up on the first ring.
Hi, I said.
Her voice was warm. Sophia. Just hearing that name, spoken without hesitation, unlocked something inside me. I think I'm going to be destroyed, I whispered. Silence. Then, tell me everything.
So I did.
Every detail. From the moment the first photo leaked to the new countdown hanging over me. She didn't interrupt. She just listened. When I finally ran out of words, she said, if they're trying to prove you're fake by showing you becoming yourself, then they've already lost. Anyone who watches that and still thinks you're a fraud doesn't deserve your truth. I cried then, and she said the thing I needed most. You don't need to prove you're real, baby. You already are. The next morning, Lorraine called me in a panic. I think I found the source, she said. I checked the spa's Wi-Fi logs. There was an outside device piggybacking on our network. Weeks before your session. It had admin access. Full permissions. Meaning it wasn't a stranger. She sent me a username. I recognized it instantly.
Torai.
One of the spa's junior estheticians. She'd done my nails once. Told me how brave I was. Asked all the right questions. Complimented my transformation. And all the while she'd been watching me. Recording me. She'd called me brave to my face, and then scheduled my destruction behind it. I met Emma and Lorraine at a nearby cafe, my hands shaking. Why would she do this? I asked. She works at an LGBTQ+ friendly spa. She pretended to support me. She used your story for attention, Lorraine said bitterly. She's been leaking parts of your transformation anonymously to a drama podcast. I blinked. What? She wanted clout, Emma said. A spotlight. Controversy. Her own followers. I stared at the table. So it wasn't hate. It wasn't transphobia. It was vanity. And that hurt worse. Because I could fight bigotry. But betrayal? That came from someone who saw me as real and still didn't care. I had 24 hours before the final video dropped. And this time, I wasn't going to beg them to stop. I was going to speak first. We went back to the spa. I dressed as Sophia. Not polished. Not glamorous.
Raw.
Makeup smudged. Hair slightly messy. Eyes tired. In the video, I sat in front of the same mirror. Same lighting. But this time, no script. Just truth. They caught me mid-change. Mid-uncertainty. Mid-becoming. And somehow, they thought that was proof I wasn't real. But what they showed you, that is real.
The mess.
The doubt. The shaking hands. That's me. You don't have to believe in me. I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to exist. We posted it 12 hours before the countdown expired. And then we waited. The countdown ended at exactly 6 p.m. The final video went live. Within the first 10 minutes, it had 87,000 views. By the hour mark, 214,000. It was everywhere. Discord servers, Reddit, TikTok reactions, Twitter threads titled, "She's been lying the whole time." The thumbnail? Me, topless halfway into my wig. The makeup not quite finished. A nervous look in my eye. A still frame of my rawest, most incomplete self. It was labeled, "The Truth About Sophia, Uncut Footage Exposed." And then came the reactions. This is just a guy pretending. I knew she was fake.
See?
The spa turned him into a Barbie doll, and she believed it. LOL, this is why nobody takes this seriously. I feel bad watching this. It's so vulnerable. This was never meant to be public. This is a violation. She still looks beautiful to me. A mix of mockery, sympathy, rage, and awe. People weren't just watching. They were deciding. In real time, they were choosing who Sophia was. And part of me wanted to hide forever.
Until I saw the video again.
And realized. It didn't destroy me. It showed the moment I became. Not flawlessly. Not magically. But truthfully. The clip wasn't clean or stylized. My hands shook. My posture was uncertain. My voice cracked when I said softly, "Okay, let's try again," as I reapplied my lipstick for the third time. But I didn't stop. I tried again. And again. And that, I realized, was the point. That was what they captured. And that was what I'd forgotten. Sophia wasn't born in confidence. She was born in courage. The next day, Lorraine went public with the truth. She released a joint statement, tagging her spa and the company's Instagram account. "We've identified the person responsible for the unauthorized footage and breach of client privacy. They no longer work with us. We're working with authorities and legal action is pending." She didn't name Tori, but everyone knew. The community exploded. Some still called it drama. Some dismissed me entirely. But others? They rallied. A local LGBTQ+ center invited me to speak. A podcast asked to interview me. People who once said, "That's the fake girl," were now saying, "That's the one they tried to ruin but couldn't." I didn't feel triumphant. I felt raw, exposed, but also ready. I met Tori in a cafe 2 days later. She agreed to see me for closure. She looked pale, exhausted. No makeup, hoodie up, no filters. Just like me the night I first saw the photo. I sat across from her, silent. She didn't even pretend to apologize. "I didn't think it would get this big," she said. "It was just supposed to be a viral moment. Something shocking." I stared at her. "You knew it was me. You filmed it anyway. You edited it to humiliate me. Why?" She looked away. "I wanted people to see what it really takes to become someone like you." "Someone like me?" She didn't answer. Instead, she said something that broke me wide open. "I used to dress up too, when I was younger, but no one believed I could be a girl. They told me I was too strong-jawed, too flat, too fake. You got the praise I never did. So, I made you look fake too." There it was. Not hate, not disgust, but envy. Pain twisted into cruelty. I stood, my voice low, shaking. "You could have come to me. I would have listened. I would have helped you. Instead, you tried to kill the only part of me I've ever fought to protect." Tori didn't cry. She just nodded. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "Not for the video, but for making you feel like I did." That wasn't enough, but it was the truth. And sometimes that's all people can give. I left without forgiving her. I didn't need to, because I wasn't doing this for her. That weekend, I walked into a packed community center. The flyer said, "Truth isn't always beautiful, but it's always powerful. Guest, Sophia." I wore a simple lavender blouse, silver earrings, and my hair, real this time, tucked behind one ear. Light makeup. Butterfly pendant resting just above my collarbone. No wig. No script. Just me. I stood in front of the mic, looked out at the crowd. Some had seen the video. Some had come because they heard what happened. Some were curious. And some were just like me. "Hi," I said softly. "I'm Sophia." A long pause. Then I smiled. "You probably saw me before I was ready. But I'm ready now." The room was silent. "I didn't get to choose how you met me. But I get to choose what you see now. I'm not a fraud. I'm not a project. I'm not your punchline. I'm a person." Applause started slowly, then built. And for the first time in weeks, I felt something bloom inside me. Not pride. Not victory. Something better. Peace. The air was electric. The kind of tension you feel before a lightning strike. I sat on Lorraine's velvet couch, laptop open, staring at the final countdown. The final video, titled The Real Sophia, was scheduled to premiere on an anonymous YouTube channel that had only 1 subscriber and no links to a name. But we knew it was Tori. I'd seen the metadata, the timestamps. Her fingerprints were everywhere. And now her weapon was about to go live. It started. At first, nothing shocking. Just spa hallway footage. A wide shot of the room. A distant view of me, alone, nervously opening the wardrobe, clutching the lavender dress. Then a voice. My voice. Tentative. Barely audible. I don't know if I can do this. I feel stupid. My fingers curled tightly around Emma's hand. She whispered, "You don't need to watch this." But I shook my head. Because I did. On screen, I sat in front of the mirror, patting my hips, adjusting the bra, struggling with the wig clip, reapplying lipstick, twice. No polish. No grace. Just raw effort. There was a point where I stared at myself in the mirror, lips parted, eyes wide and lost. And then I spoke again. She looks so much better than I do. I look like a boy pretending. The camera angle zoomed in slightly. The moment was intimate, vulnerable, almost sacred. A quiet voice inside me wanted to scream, "Take it down." But another voice, the stronger one, whispered, "Let them see." Because what they'd captured wasn't shameful. It was honest. The comment section flooded live. "This is so embarrassing. Oof, that transition ain't transit. Poor thing. She looks so sad. That's not fake. That's a girl trying her best." This made me cry. I see myself in her. Emma turned off the comments. "I can't take it," she muttered. But I kept watching. Because around minute 7 something shifted. The wig finally sat right. The lipstick stayed. The padding evened out. And there, in the mirror, I watched myself straighten my back,
Tilt my chin.
and smile. It wasn't a perfect smile,
It was shy.
but it was mine. And then I said, softly, maybe she is enough. I felt tears in my eyes. Because I remembered that moment. I remembered how scared I was and how much I wanted to believe it. They thought this video would expose me. But they'd only proved what I already knew. Sophia was real. Because I made her real. The fallout was immediate. The video hit 1 million views in 24 hours. Reddit blew up with reaction threads. Reaction YouTubers posted split-screen reviews. Some mocked. Some cried. Some apologized for doubting me. My DMs were a war zone. But so was my heart. Because just as I was reclaiming Sophia, Torai disappeared. She quit the spa. Vanished from socials. Her own community turned on her. The LGBTQ+ forums she once frequented banned her. Even her followers condemned her for betraying someone in the middle of becoming. I didn't celebrate. Because it didn't feel like a win. It felt like the wreckage left behind after a battle no one wanted to fight. Then came the email. From a national LGBTQ+ magazine. Subject: "We want to feature your story, Sophia." My heart stopped. Emma and Lorraine crowded around me as I opened it. "Sophia, your story has sparked thousands of conversations across the internet. You've become a symbol of vulnerability, courage, and the cost of being seen too soon. We'd love to feature you on our cover. Fully styled.
Your way.
On your terms." I sat back in my chair, stunned. Cover model?
Me?
It felt absurd. Like a reward I hadn't earned. "I don't know," I said quietly. "It might make it worse. More exposure." Emma shook her head.
No.
"It's power. This time, you're the one choosing what they see." Lorraine smiled. "You've already been seen at your most vulnerable. Why not show them your most powerful?" I didn't answer. But I didn't delete the email either. The night before the final decision, I sat alone in the spa. Mirror lit. Wig off. No makeup. Just me. And a printed copy of the video transcript in my lap. I'd highlighted something. The moment I looked into the mirror and said, "Maybe she is enough."
I read it out loud again.
Slowly. Softly. And then, I looked in the mirror. Not at the clothes. Not at the face. Just at the eyes. And I whispered, "I am enough." And this time, I believed it. The day of the magazine shoot arrived like thunder after silence. I hadn't said yes at first. Even after the video's backlash turned into viral support. Even after Emma kept whispering, "You deserve this. You're ready." Even after the anonymous hate DMs started quieting into cautious curiosity. It took me a full week to write one word: yes. And now here I was, standing in a stylist's chair, a woman pinning soft champagne-colored fabric along my waist while a makeup artist gently powdered under my eyes. A photographer hovered, adjusting lights. The set was bright, controlled, safe. But inside, I was screaming. My hands kept shaking. This wasn't just a photo shoot. This was a statement. If I posed, if I smiled, if I claimed this image, then Sophia wasn't a secret anymore. She was the truth.
Permanent. Public.
Unedited. And the world would know. The real Sophia. The messy, scared, untrained, still learning, still growing woman who'd clawed her way out of shame. "I can't breathe," I whispered. Emma rushed over. She was holding my heels. "Then take a second. We're not rushing this." I nodded, stepping away, still in robe and bare feet. I looked around the studio. Mirrors everywhere. Some showed the girl I hoped they saw. Others still showed the boy I feared they remembered. And somewhere in the center, between reflection and reality, was me. The shoot started softly. Neutral poses. Soft lighting. A few casual wardrobe pieces. Then came the dress. A flowing satin gown, draped to the shoulder, fitted at the waist. The color? A blush gold that shimmered like a secret ready to be told. The moment I stepped into it, the room hushed. I felt it, like a crown being placed gently on my head. Not because of glamour, but because of grit. The photographer raised his camera. "Ready?" I looked into the lens.
Paused.
And then said softly, "Let's begin."
Click. Click. Click.
Halfway through, the photographer asked, "Can we try one with the wig off? Natural?" I froze. No wig. That meant raw. But then I saw my reflection. The makeup still soft. The neckline still delicate. The earrings still catching the light. And my real hair short but growing. Feminine in its own unruly way. I touched my chest. Felt the light padding beneath. And I nodded. He lifted the camera again. And I posed. Not as Ethan trying to hide. Not as Sophia trying to pass. But as me. A woman standing in the exact space between who she was and who she was becoming. 2 weeks later, the magazine dropped. Cover title. Unapologetically becoming. Sophia speaks. I was everywhere. My face. My story. My fear. My fight. Articles poured in. Blog posts. YouTube commentary. Reaction videos from people who once mocked me, now teary-eyed saying, "I judged her too soon."
A few still hated me.
They called me a fraud with good lighting, a male model in drag, a trend chaser. But for every one of them, 10 more said, "She helped me come out. I'm not afraid anymore." I didn't know I could see someone like me in someone like her. I cried for days, not because of hate, but because of hope. Because the girl who once whispered, "I don't know if I can do this," had become the woman who whispered back, "You already are." And then came the letter, mailed to my apartment. No return address, just my name, Sophia. Inside was a single page.
Typed.
No threats, just one sentence. "She's not done with you." There was no signature, but I knew that handwriting.
Tori.
She was still out there, watching, waiting, and I had a choice: run again, or face her, not as a victim, but as myself. The envelope hadn't been postmarked. There was no return address, no tracking label. It had simply appeared in the building's mail slot, hand-delivered. Emma opened it first, her hands trembling. I was still in the kitchen, steeping tea, when she said, "Soph." Her voice was hollow, barely above a whisper. I turned. She was holding a single sheet of paper, her face pale, and all it said was, "She's not done with you." There was no signature, but I didn't need one. I knew. It was Tori. For weeks, she'd vanished. No activity, No videos. No statements. Her apology had been public and brief, and her disappearance had felt like closure. But this was something else. "She's not finished," I said, staring at the letter. "What does she want?" Emma asked. I didn't know, but the fear that crept into my chest wasn't the same panic from before. It was colder, more controlled, because now I wasn't scared of being exposed. I already had been. I wasn't scared of losing Sophia, because now I was her. No costume, no performance, no hiding. I was done being someone else's story, but it didn't mean I wasn't in danger. That night, someone tried to reset the password to my YouTube account. 3 failed attempts. Then a notification from my email security backup. Unusual sign-in attempt from unknown device. Emma changed all the passwords. Lorraine called her lawyer. But I just sat in bed, staring at the glowing screen of my phone. "She's not done with you." It wasn't a threat. It was a promise. The next day, I returned to the spa for the first time in weeks. The lights were dimmed. Lorraine had locked down every security system, upgraded the camera network, and was keeping staff rotations to trusted veterans only. But I didn't come for safety. I came for closure. I went into the same dressing room where the original footage had been taken. Same mirror. Same wardrobe. I sat at the vanity and looked at myself. No fear. No mask. Just me. I turned on my phone camera, hit record, and said, "You said you're not done with me. But here's the truth. You never started.
You watched me,
Filmed me. Judged me. But you never knew me. And now I'm done hiding. So go ahead.
watch."
Threaten. Whisper. But I'm not afraid of being exposed anymore. Because I've already become everything you tried to destroy." I paused.
Took a breath.
And ended with one word. Enough. I didn't post the video. Not yet. But it was ready. A line in the sand. A warning. A message. Not just to Tori, but to anyone who thought identity could be controlled through shame. That night, Emma and I sat on the balcony. It was warm. Quiet.
Safe.
But something still stirred in the air. A tension. A presence I couldn't shake. As if someone was still watching. Still waiting. The phone buzzed once. A new message. Blocked number. One image. A photo.
Of me.
Outside the spa. From today. Taken from across the street. And below it, one line. "I'm closer than you think." I didn't flinch. I just turned off the screen. And whispered. "Let her come."